directly into our discussion today on health system science. As I prepare for these 5 minutes, I realized something troubling. While our profession has engaged with health system science components for a really long time, we have done so only at a surface level. We talk about it, but we haven't truly embraced it. And I think that's dangerous. If we continue our path, we will continue to perpetuate disparities in care and limit our ability to transform society. To embrace health system science, we need to look deeper, not just at the components or strategies, but 3 concepts that I think are implicit: context, culture, and community. But before we move on to those 3 concepts, I want us to acknowledge something really hard. We are not all in the same boat. We're not all in the same boat, and we're not even in the same storm. In fact, some of us are not even in a storm at all. Some of us are coasting in still waters, where others are drowning. Let that sink in. Because if we don't address this, we'll continue to make decisions that work for some, but devastate others. So let's talk about context. Do you have a deep understanding of your own context to create real transformation? I'm gonna share mine. I am a neuroscientist, a health services researcher turned department chair in Puerto Rico. I went back home because I knew transformation wasn't just needed, it was overdue. Puerto Rico is resilient, yes, but it is also struggling. If Puerto Rico were a state, it would be among the poorest in the US. There's no direct access in physical therapy. Autonomy, it's a pipe dream. We take the NPT in English, even though our practice is primarily in Spanish. So if we talk about equity in health system science, but this is inequity baked into the system. So I ask you, how does your context shape the change you're pushing for? Because if we don't confront the hard realities of our own environments, we're just spinning our wheels. We cannot implement a curriculum that embraces health system science if we are afraid to engage in the systemic injustices staring at us in the face. I want to move on to culture. Are we nurturing cultures that truly embrace change? And I'm talking real change. Not the comfortable kind, but the radical disruptive change, the kind that makes people uneasy. I knew I couldn't build a transformative program in Puerto Rico before shifting the culture. We hired faculty and staff who understood our context. We prioritized adaptability and innovation over academic achievements and academic experience. We needed people who would be agents of radical change, and that included our students. But let's be honest, most academic institutions aren't built for that. They're built to maintain the status quo. And maintaining the status quo, sadly, means maintaining inequities. It means some of us will always have more power, more privilege, more voice than others. So I invite you to reflect, what about your culture? Is it truly open to new ideas? Is it really willing to change the status quo? Or is it just paying lip service to innovation while preserving comfort for a select few? And finally, community. Are we building truly inclusive community, or are we just recreating silos of privilege? Community is about reaching beyond our university walls and engaging populations that don't look like us, don't sound like us, don't have the access to the opportunities we do. It's about bringing voices that aren't traditionally heard. Those voices who will challenge us the most. I am here today because a community that refused to accept this status quo. Our fully bilingual DPT program in Puerto Rico is a direct result of the partnerships that challenge conventions and then conspire for something better. We are developing students and faculty who won't just thrive in the current system, but we're hoping they'll reshape it. But this doesn't happen without discomfort, without acknowledging the deep inequities that run through our profession, without actively creating spaces for those who have been marginalized to not only speak, but to lead. As I mentioned earlier, Oakland holds a special place in the fight for justice. This week, 58 years ago, the Black Panther Party was founded here, boldly declaring health as a right, not a privilege. The fight still goes on. Health system science is part of that fight, but it will not solve the problem unless we confront the deeper systemic forces that shape our journeys. We're not all in the same boat, nor the same storm, but we are striving for the same destination, a transformed society. So please, let's remember, transformation doesn't come from comfort. It comes from the courage to disrupt. Thank you.